So today we're going to read a really special book. It's about a woman that I actually worked with for a long time. You'll really like her story. It's called Pocket Full of Colors. Under a wide blue sky, on a red dirt road, in a lemon yellow house, there lived a girl named Mary. Other children collected marbles or dolls, but Mary collected colors of every shade and every hue. One day, Mary's parents announced that they were moving out west. As she waved goodbye to the yellow house, Mary tucked her friend Lemon in her pocket. Mary would miss this happy home, but she had new colors to collect. Driving across the sun-bleached desert, Mary spied russet and taupe and sienna. When she arrived in California, she glimpsed the azure ocean and found groves of golden fruit dripping with viridian trees. Ooh, those are nice colors. In the city, she discovered steel, gray buildings, and mauve-tinted skies. Mary opened her sketchbook. She mixed her paints. She would save these shades for just the right time. When she was older, Mary went to school. It was an art school where she met Lee. He showed her rosy pink and blushing red. She kept those colors close to her heart. Together, Mary and Lee painted rainbows. But it was the Great Depression, and people were poor. No one was buying rainbows, except one place. Mary landed a job at Walt Disney Studios, one of the first women ever to be hired. Finally, a place for her colors to run and dance and play as they pleased. There's Walt in front of the animation studio. But on her first day of work, the men in charge didn't want to talk about cerulean or celadon or cerise. They were only interested in black and white. Mary was told to follow the rules. Do you think she does? She tried, but her colors were too vivid, too wild. When Mary turned in her work, all her ideas were rejected. Twinkling emerald skies, the men turned them to blue. Magenta horses that could fly, the men made them brown and put them in a stable. Peach giraffes with tangerine spots, her bosses just shook their heads. They didn't know what to make of her art. Does that happen to a lot of artists? But they keep trying. But Walt, the man who owned the company, did. He loved her colors so much. He asked Mary to join him on a trip to South America to meet some new ones. Mary delighted in the colors of Brazil, Argentina, and Peru. She worked hard to capture the vibrant scenery. When it was time to go home, Mary's bags burst with fuchsia, teal, aquamarine, indigo, lime green, and banana yellow. After Mary returned to Disney, her concept art of the studio's upcoming film grew even more adventurous as she drew upon the eye-popping shades she'd observed in South America. Cinderella needed a teal pumpkin coach. The caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland could only be aquamarine, and the mermaids in Peter Pan simply had to be lime green. This time, some of Mary's ideas were accepted, but most of her art was still considered too modern, too abstract, and just not right. Mary's colors encouraged her to leave the men with their black lines and strict rules. So, she did. Mary quickly found new work designing advertisements, illustrating picture books for kids, and creating sets for plays and television commercials. She enjoyed the freedom of these new jobs, but Mary missed Walt. Then one day, out of the blue, Her phone rang. Ring, ring, ring. It was Walt. "Mary, I have a project for you. I need your wild and beautiful colors," his voice boomed. Walt explained his idea to build a magical ride that would teach people about cultures from all around the world. The ride had to be full of color, which meant there was only one person for the job. Who's that person? "Mary, you know about colors I've never even heard of before." Mary smiled, and then she frowned as she remembered the rules and the lines and the men who didn't understand her colors or her style of art. There was only one way to answer. "Yes," said Mary, but her yes came with a condition. This time, Mary wanted to be the one in charge. Walt welcomed her aboard. Mary's paint seemed to sparkle when she hung up the phone. She had never been to places like China or Morocco or Kathmandu, but her colors had. Sitting down to work, she squeezed out dabs of paint. Lemon yellow, aquamarine and azure, mauve, taupe and tangerine, russet, sienna and steel gray, celadon, cerulean, cerise, magenta, teal, indigo, and emerald shined from her palette. And when she picked up her brush, the colors Mary had so carefully collected all of her life took her on a trip around the globe. When the work was done and the ride opened, people gasped in awe. It's a Small World was a sensation. Have you ever been on It's a Small World? That's pretty cool, or maybe you'll get to someday. When it was Mary's turn to take a ride, she leaned back in her boat and let her colors wash over her. It was a world of laughter, a world of smiles, and color everywhere. This, at last, was Mary's world. That's pretty cool. They're all around her. Well, go out in your world and see all the colors that you can and collect them in your pocket. Have a good day.